There was another lady that had such a gravelly voice. It sounded like she literally ate cigarettes. Didn't smoke cigarettes. Ate them.
I put her down as my least favorite.
Wait,
Vegas stranger.
So you had a favorite and a least
favorite so that we could talk about that girl too, just to find a way to talk about her.
Welcome to the Yeah Bro podcast. It's funny because it's a callback to the last time you were on.
That's true.
I'm Jake.
And I'm Trace.
But you're not a grass daddy. I was doing our intro.
No.
I'm Jake. I'm a grass daddy, and today I am joined once again by I don't know why I sound like I have a dick in my throat, but I'm joined once again by Trace Johnson himself, the motherfucking man, here alive in the flesh. Oh my God, the studio audience is going crazy. Guys, sit down, please. Guys, we've got a long show. You're going to need to keep that same energy this whole time. Does that camera look a little crooked to you? It does, doesn't it?
A little bit.
Right there, I think is perfect. What other podcast do you see where the host just hops up and adjusts the camera himself and then just sits right back down and gets to it and doesn't edit it out either because I'm too lazy to?
Good point.
You know what I just realized?
What?
When getting ready to record an episode, I usually like to jot things down on my phone that I want to talk about.
Yeah.
But do you know what the really big issue with that is?
What?
My phone's recording.
Never thought about that.
So I'm just going to have to kind of think of things off the dome piece. But, so Trace John Johnson.
Mm-hmm. It's not my actual middle name.
Okay. We got to address that now.
Yeah.
Actually, first of all, let's take this thing way back. Okay? Let's take this thing back to the day I first met you.
6th grade.
6th grade. As anyone would do, in 6th grade or elementary school, or basically the first day of
a new school,
a new era.
Right.
You go around and introduce yourself. That's the first thing you do.
Yep.
And what I remember is that our teacher goes, say your name and an interesting fact about you, or something like that.
Yeah.
And
I think we played like 2 truths and a lie or something like that.
Oh, really?
If I remember correctly.
That would make this story a lot funnier. But from my memory, it was just tell an interesting fact about yourself.
That could have been it.
Trace goes, my name is Trace. And his voice sounds exactly like it does now, at least in my memory.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Trace, and I like tacos.
Yeah, that is what I said. Tacos.
And you haven't changed a bit.
I still love tacos.
And you're still Trace.
And I'm still Trace. Legally.
That's okay.
Whoa.
Which is awesome. But yeah, I remember you going, my name's Trace and I like tacos. And the rest is history. And I was like, I'm going to be the best man at that guy's wedding. That was that was what I first thought. No, I think I was just like,
what a weird thing to say.
That was the most interesting thing about you.
Is that I like tacos?
Now, if we were doing 2 truths and a lie,
mm-hmm. Then I would have failed.
That's actually, you know what? I'm gonna double back on myself. That's actually probably not a bad strategy, because saying I like tacos could 100% go either way.
Right.
But I wonder what else you would have said if we did 2 truths and a lie. I feel like that's kind of a little complicated game for 6th graders.
Yeah.
But here we are. This time, I can physically see on the computers in front of me that we are, in fact, recording on these fucking microphones, because last time it was the 3 of us, you, me, and Ben, and for whatever fucking reason, I didn't click on the mic on your computer.
So it's just recording to the
So laptop. You see how it says internal microphone and blue snowball?
Yeah.
I guess I accidentally selected internal microphone. So we were using the computer's microphone, which
doesn't really work.
When I listened back on the audio, it sounded horrendous.
Right.
Like it was unusable.
Yeah.
So we had to scrap it, and hopefully we will not have any technical difficulties on this episode. Let me knock on wood here. Some fake wood paneling. So yeah, let's I know you're on a big sober kick right now, but I figure
I don't know. I don't know when that started.
I say we break it on this episode. What do you say? You and me, you're on your big sober kick. You
might as well.
You hate beer, and
I hate alcohol.
Are we touching?
You're touching my bad toe.
I was like, oh really? Oh shit, my bad. You got the cap on it?
No.
Okay.
No.
I know you're on a big sober kick right now, but if it's all the same to you, I'm kind of thirsty. This thing's whining at us. It wants to be open.
It is making a lot of noise.
So, hold on.
Oh, okay.
Everyone likes to jerk the door open. You got to be polite.
Oh, okay.
Who is it?
Ooh.
What do we got? What is the Magic Mini Pridge providing for us today?
Let's just break this open.
What's going on? I can't see. Well, you're going to have to talk me through what's happening.
Oh, whoa. Look at there.
Budweiser.
Also known as my favorite beer.
And I got to flame you again.
Yeah.
You knew this was coming, didn't you?
Yeah.
For the longest time, Budweiser has been like my beer of choice. And how's it taste?
Tastes like shit.
Perfect. For the longest time, Budweiser has been my beer of choice, and I don't know what got into you, because you normally aren't like very judgmental, but you were giving me shit this one day because I was like drinking Budweiser, and something or other to the effect of you going, if you keep drinking that, I don't want to have to be pushing you around in a wheelchair when we get older, like insinuating I'm just going to be morbidly obese.
Right.
Maybe have a couple feet amputated.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wow, shitting on me just because I like to drink Budweiser, which is a few more calories.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's not even that much more.
And probably about a half a year later, it's all that Trace drinks now is Budweiser. Yep. You've kind of gotten off of it, though.
Yeah, because, I mean, it still is my favorite, but ever since I got COVID the second time, it just hasn't tasted the same, and it honestly doesn't taste very good, but I still drink it out of principle.
Oh, so when you just said it tastes like shit, you really mean it?
I really meant it.
I thought you were making a joke about how it's like a domestic beer, and they all just kind of taste like water.
Nah, it's actually kind of a sad story, man.
All right, well, way to bring down the mood.
No.
We just got a big awe out of the studio audience. They're all...
Shut the fuck up.
Guys, let the man,
Let me share my opinions, guys.
Yeah, Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
The question is, am I going to go in and edit in sound now? I don't know if I will or not. I'll have to try to remember. But so thanks for coming on. Cheers to you. Thanks for coming on. I thought Cam was going to be recording this week, but it turns out it's actually next week.
What did he have going on this week?
I don't know. I do this thing where people tell me something and
then you forget.
I don't listen.
Yeah.
And so happens a lot with my girlfriend, which I feel like is happens to a lot of people, but she'll have to remind me like the day of or day before, like something's gonna happen. She'll be like, I told you. I'll be like, no you didn't. She'll be like, yeah I did.
And
I'll be like,
fuck.
Okay, you're probably
right. Yeah.
I just forgot. I either forgot or I wasn't listening, or I was half listening and then forgot. So I, for some reason, thought Cam and I were recording this week, but him and Bailey are coming down next weekend, and we'll be recording. But in the meantime, we have a very suitable guest standing in for Cam, Trace Johnson himself. Now, back to what we were talking about.
Right.
I think this was probably like 7th or 8th grade. We've become friends at this point.
Yeah, probably 8th grade, because we were like at each other's house almost every weekend.
Yeah, we were hanging out a lot, drinking Venom energy drinks.
Great Venom.
grape venom and playing Black Ops 1 Zombies.
That probably was not good for us. Downing those venoms.
Let's get there. But first, we were in the lunch line at school, and I don't know, maybe I thought we were getting to this point in our relationship now where I needed to start learning middle names or something. But I was like, "What's your middle name?" And you were like, "John."
John.
And I was like, "Your name is Trace John Johnson?" And you're like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And I was just like, "Oh." And I just believed you. And it took an embarrassingly long amount of time before you were just like, because I would call you Trace John Johnson and Trace Johnny Johnson and stuff like that.
Right.
And then one day you were just like, my middle name's not actually John, right? And I was like, what? And you were like, yeah, it's Cole. And I'm like,
you're like, no.
It's funny how I thought that was you fucking with me, not
John Johnson,
not your name being John Johnson, Johnson and Johnson. But yeah, man, it does not take me much to get nostalgic.
Yeah,
that is one of my subjects that I love talking about.
Yes,
and Lena and I were on a walk the other day, and we were kind of talking about this. I may or may not have been a little bit buzzed while saying this stuff, but I was like, I just love nostalgia so much. Like, I love dwelling on fond memories that I have.
Right.
There's just something about going back and thinking about a time where I was happy about whatever. Just dwelling on fond memories. And I think we should do that now.
We could.
About some of our...
We've had plenty.
We've had a lot of good memories.
Plenty.
Some good and some bad, but even the bad ones now are fun stories.
They're pretty funny.
I think we're still recording.
Looks like it on my end.
So yeah, like we said, we would get together on the weekend. Trace lived about 10 minutes away.
Yeah.
15 minutes walking distance of Russ's Market. And you were the first person to start drinking those Venoms.
Yeah, because they were like 99 cents.
And then, like, I remembered you having, like, a collection of them on your dresser. And whenever we started hanging out, I was like, I want to get in on this. Like, whatever's going on, whatever going on over here, I want in on it. And back in, like, 7th and 8th grade, Call of Duty Black Ops 1, baby. It's like... It wasn't the first Call of Duty that had zombies, but it was the first one that, like, it was
popped off.
Yeah, like it was a big boom. And so, man, we'd walk over to Russ's and we'd get like a 4-pack of Venoms. I remember one night I got a 4-pack of Venoms and I drank 3 of them.
Yep. We probably went up all night that night.
Oh, yeah. It was not uncommon for us to pull all-nighters. Like, was it the episode with Ben where we were talking about all-nighters? And I said the last time I did it was probably with you.
Yeah, episode 41. Go watch it.
Sure. Go watch episode 41, even though the audio is butt. Audio's poop. But, yeah, I remember, we'd stay up all night. Playing Keno or playing zombies.
Oh, yeah, Keno did try.
Yeah. Not playing.
I was like, Keno?
Not playing Keno. That'd be crazy if your dad, like, had a TV set up in the house.
He's just like, a slice of Keno, guys.
I'll go run your bets into the Denton Daily Double. So I remember drinking one night, 3 of those fucking Venoms. And I remember my side started tingling.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I might have set a record for the youngest kid to have a stroke. But I think I was rapping on Heaven's Gates.
Yeah. I mean, it was bad.
Yeah, it was Jitterville for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got into a lot of shenanigans at that house. And for whatever reason, I had this proclivity of breaking items.
I was just about to say, should I bring up how many things you've broken?
Go for it. I've talked for the last 14 minutes and 33 seconds, so you can tell some stories now if you want about me.
The only 2 that I remember is the one where you thought my door was like partially open, so you're like, let me just knee this door real quick to just scare Trace or whatever your plan was.
Like I was going to burst in the room.
Yeah. But no, that door was shut, and you definitely put your knee through it.
Honestly, the door might have been slightly cracked, but it didn't even matter because my knee hit that door with such velocity that I just punched a hole in it.
Essentially, yeah.
Now, is that hole still there in that door?
No.
Really? Have they replaced the door?
Yeah, I'm guessing so.
Because you can't drywall a door. No, I don't know how you would patch a door.
Not that I know of, yeah. And then the other one was, I think it was my birthday party or something like that in high school. And we had a bunch of guys over, and we slept. I think it was me and you slept in my bed, and everyone else had to sleep on the floor or something like that. Something along those lines. But then I wake up in the morning to Jake hopping on top of me, and he's like, I'm going to do push-ups on you, and starts just banging his chest every time he'd come down for the push-up. And then eventually my bed just gave way. It just said, nah, we ain't taking this. And those are the only two I can remember.
Well, it's... First of all, that story sounds so sus.
It sounds so gay, but we were straight.
We were straight, but it's to be in middle school or early high school and to be able to say I broke my bed, but it was from my homie. Normally, you'd think if you broke your bed, it's like, God damn, like you were getting it after it this weekend.
Right?
But no, it was just my asshole friend jumping on top of me,
just doing push-ups on
me, and then the plywood that like your mattress was sitting on, just like
it just broke,
just like you said, gave way, and you were asleep 1 minute, and then the next thing you knew, you were awake, but you were like laying backwards at an angle, sliding down into the corner of the room.
I still have that bed frame. I actually sleep on it to this day. Yeah, my dad fixed it. What ain't broke, just keep using.
I'm surprised your parents ever let me back into their house after that, because I have another thing
that you broke in my house.
I didn't break, but we
collectively broke.
We didn't break anything, but there was one time where, so when we first started off our ventures at the Johnson residence, it was upstairs and in your room.
Yeah.
But then at a certain point, things got rearranged and you were now living in the basement.
Iconic basement.
The iconic Johnson basement. Mm-hmm. This is where we were sitting, where our school colleague got too high and was outside the door.
Yep.
Puking on the floor. Go back and listen to that episode if you haven't heard it. Yeah, a lot of magic happened in that basement, which also sounds sus, but there was a fireplace down in that basement.
Oh, okay. I think I know where this is going.
And so sometimes, like in the winter, it wouldn't be uncommon for sitting there playing Xbox or watching Lord of the Rings or watching a movie, that we'd throw some logs in that fireplace and have ourselves a little fire, a little crackling fire while you're hanging out. It's pretty nice experience.
Oh yeah.
But I think it was like the first time we were trying to do it, and Trace was like, we got to open the chimney first, and then you kind of were fiddling around down there, and then you're like, I think it's open. So I'm just like, well, then let's start this fire.
Right.
So we started the fire, and the whole basement starts filling up with smoke.
Oh my God.
And this is at like
2 in the morning, 1 in the morning.
I don't know if it was 2 in the morning.
Might have been like 12 in the morning.
It was probably
like
around
midnight.
It was probably around midnight.
Right. Because we were going to have that fire for like a couple hours.
Right.
Bed. Yeah.
It was probably, let's just say it was around midnight.
Yeah.
Basement starts filling up with smoke. Smoke alarm goes off.
Yeah.
And Trace's dad comes downstairs and bursts in that door in his boxers and just goes like, what the hell are you guys doing? We're like,
trying to have a fire.
No shit.
Yeah.
And he just kind of like went down there and like opened the chimney up, which you failed to do.
Which I thought I did.
And then he turned around and left, and I'm just like, I'm surprised he hasn't just like, you should stop hanging out with this guy, because every time he comes over, something bad happens.
Something happens, yeah.
I've been trying to work these stories in my mind and see how I could integrate them into my best man speech, because I feel like it'd be funny.
Oh, yeah.
I've been trying to punch it up as if I'm doing like a stand-up comedy bit.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out how I could work it into like a funny speech. So there's that. We have a long history. And you've been one of my best friends for a long time. And I feel like as any duo of guys, I feel like a lot of times when you're with your guy friend and you're kind of just like shooting the shit, you know, you start to come up with ideas. And I feel like any duo of friends thinks they have the best ideas and great ideas. But I don't know, guys. I feel like if Trace and I really put our heads together, we could come up with some shit.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
I'm not saying solve world hunger, but
nothing like that.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to waste our talents on something like that. But we could definitely come up with some pretty crazy ideas.
Oh yeah.
Like we had an idea for a video game. Okay, we talk about video games on this podcast a little bit. Fucking deal with it.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
We're a couple of dudes who grew up in that generation. We're gonna inevitably talk about video games.
Right.
So, I think this was one of our better ideas, honestly. We came up with an idea for a video game where it's like it incorporates all the different video games. Remember, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. And it all started with GTA when we were playing that.
Yeah, so we were playing GTA, Grand Theft Auto, for those of you living under a fucking rock. I don't know what we were doing. Maybe I was like driving a tractor in the game, and I was like, what if I could just start farming right now? Or what was it?
We were on a mission where we were in like crop dusters, and we had to like crop dust these marijuana fields with acid or LSD. And you were like, low-key, I wish they had crop dusters and farming simulator. And then that just started this whole like idea.
So we went on this whole spiel about, and we would always say this: picture this.
Picture this.
That's like our thing we would always say.
Picture this.
That's what I should have started the pod with. Welcome to
Picture
the Picture This podcast. Can I get another beer?
No.
Good point.
I'll ask the fridge.
Good point.
It does deem you worthy.
Sweet. So, we had this idea for this video game where it's basically like a life simulator, except all the different aspects of life, it incorporates all the different like video games.
Right.
So like, let's say you wanted to be a farmer. Then when you go to farm, it's the entire engine is like the farming simulator engine where you can incorporate all of that.
Right.
If you wanted to be like a sports player or like an athlete,
then it'd cut to any of one of those games.
Right. It like MLB, college football, and then to Madden.
Yeah. That would be crazy. High school football.
Right. Any sports game, it would like, keep in mind this game would be like 3 terabytes.
Yeah, I was going to say hundreds of memory space.
This game would be like 3 terabytes of data.
It would be crazy.
And then if you're like, I want to be in the military, Call of Duty. It just pulls up Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Yeah, Battlefield. Imagine you could set the time frame. So if you wanted to be like in World War II.
Yeah, you could go into a setting and change what era you live in or start your life in.
What else? What else could there incorporate?
Shit.
Besides like the base game, like if you just wanted to run around and kill people,
then that'd be like GTA.
It would just be GTA.
Right.
It would just like that would be like kind of the base thing.
You got flight simulator.
Flights.
If you wanted to be a pilot.
Be a pilot.
Fucking yacht simulator. Fucking
How many different simulators do they have now?
Crazy amount.
They have lawn mowing simulator,
cop or police simulator. I play that.
I low key need to get that,
dude. It's pretty fucking fun.
Can you talk to the people?
Yeah, like you have dialogue with AIs.
So is there proximity chat? Is it online?
Yeah, you can play up to 2 people at a time, like with each other, and you're
not in a server.
It's not really. No, it's like somebody has the loaded game, and then if you wanted one other person to play with you, you could.
I suppose that makes sense because if you were wanting to play Police Simulator, you'd probably want to be the police officer. So it'd be probably kind of hard to find people on multiplayer that are like, I want to drive around and speed and have cops pull me over. Like, that wouldn't be very fun.
But in the game, theoretically, if there were people like selling drugs or something like that and you wanted to be the cop, you're now in charge of actually being a cop, where other people want to play it like GTA or, something like that.
Is there like drug activity in the game? Is that a thing?
Oh, yeah. Actually, one time I loaded in for a 30-minute shift. And
A shift.
Like, you can actually do an 8-hour shift.
Can you eat donuts?
Nah, you can't eat or drink anything. But anyway, this shift, I get on, and like, there's prompts of like what's going on, what's most important during this shift, and it was like drug deals. So I went, and there was this park, not very big park, but I'd get someone for drug dealing, get them in my car, and then another prompt would be like, catch more drug dealers. And so literally there'd be another drug deal happening in the same park, and I'm just like, where are all these people trying to sell their drug? Like, why is it here? And just
it's like on a playground.
Ounces of marijuana, ounces of cocaine, just like whatever you could think of. It was being sold.
Is there like a dispatch over the radio, like saying like, we've got a
such and such
at
you're like
13th and Bravo,
and you can either hit like accept or decline.
See, I've seen police simulators where like the guy will like talk through his mic.
Oh, okay.
And it like does the prompts to the AI or
probably like
responds
a PC
to the
game.
dispatch. Probably.
Yeah.
Dude, there's so many different, like, you could probably find or play anything on like PC.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know what Corbin was telling me?
What?
He was telling me that there is a software that you can just play GameCube games.
I believe it, yeah.
I think it was called like Dolphin something. But he's like, you could just get Smash Bros. And then if you like get an adapter or something, you can just like plug in a GameCube controller and just play it. And I was like, God damn, like I need to get a PC.
Yeah, low key.
That'd be kind of sick, but so you worked today.
I did. Yep.
And I was kind of thinking about this the other day while I was at work when we were getting ready to record. As I was filling up my sprayer, because I spray chemicals at work.
Right.
The water was kind of splashing on me, and I was kind of getting wet, and I was just like, I'm always getting wet at my job. Like if I'm working on irrigation or hand watering or spraying, like or if I'm just like changing cups or doing something in the morning and there's dew on the grass.
Yeah, it's
like
unavoidable.
My feet are always wet. Like I always find a way where I'm like wet and damp the whole day.
Yeah,
it kind of sucks. And I was like, Trace probably can relate to this too.
Every day.
Because you work at Jet Splash.
Yeah.
Which is a car wash. And so you probably inevitably get wet.
Every day, yeah.
Every day I'm just be getting wet out there.
I be getting wet.
I just be getting so wet.
I stay wet.
So it got me thinking. What are some other jobs out there where people inevitably get wet?
Or just like stay wet.
And not to state the obvious one.
Car wash, yeah. What?
I was setting you up for a porn joke.
Oh my gosh, that's actually a good point.
But then when you said porn, I was going to switch it and say firefighter.
Obviously, you're trying to catch me,
right? But you're too sweet and innocent. Or like I was gonna say submarine, but then I was like, that you definitely don't want to be wet because that means you're dead.
You're dead. You're gonna die
if you're getting wet in a submarine. You're dead.
Yeah, you shouldn't realistically be getting wet as a submarine.
What about? Do they do like, how astronauts do spacewalks? Do like submarine people do that? Probably not. They probably
Depends
have to
how
have
deep they are. Yeah.
They probably have to have like special dive suits that can withstand that pressure.
I don't think you can just open it up.
That's true too.
And just leave the submarine.
Well, I don't know. There's probably.
Maybe there are submarines that you can do that.
Like it would have to be like in space where there's like a
pressurized like separate.
Right.
Exit, enter.
Just like in Moon on zombies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We don't have to circle everything back to video games. But actually, that's how they launch torpedoes.
Oh, yeah, true.
And I was watching like a video about it where like basically they put the torpedo in the tube and close like the hatch.
Right.
And then they have to flood that tube with pressurized water to match the pressure on the outside.
Okay.
So that they can open the outside and then launch the torpedo out. Because if they just opened it, then all that water would spill on board and it would be unnecessary weight that could like tip it.
Yeah.
So they already have to have water on board to fill it up with. Are you thirsty?
I'm thirsty.
You're like, are you done talking about submarines? I'm fucking thirsty.
You're making me more thirsty.
All this thought of seawater. Speaking of zombies, I want to talk about our zombie apocalypse plan. See if we can revise it at all. See if you remember it like I remember it.
For some reason, I want to say we were planning on like meeting up at your parents' house or something like that.
Okay, we're along the same lines a little bit. So, this could be a fun topic. I haven't talked really about this at all on the pod yet. Zombie apocalypse plans. Again, a lot of our thoughts, we're like still middle school boys where we're just like playing video games, drinking energy drinks,
drawing pictures with stick figures,
drawing crazy pictures, and talking about zombie apocalypses.
Yeah.
Let me walk you through what I remember about what our plan was. Our plan was we would be at my parents' house, and somehow we would remove the stairs to go to the upstairs.
Yeah.
I don't know how that would physically be possible, but we're like, we'll chop off the stairs.
Right.
And then we'll have a Browning at the top of the stairs.
Just mount it up.
Mount it up so that the zombies can come in and we can just shoot them from up there and they can't get to us.
You put like a little bell on the front door.
Sure.
Something like that.
And then we would have a tube because we knew the first floor would be fucked. Yeah. There's no way you can keep zombies in or out of the first floor.
Right.
The ground level. We would have a tube that would go from the upstairs to the basement. So we could access the basement and we would just have to go down a ladder and it would just be like impenetrable from the middle floor because it would be going through the middle floor.
Right.
Now, I know what you guys are thinking. How are you guys going to get your food? Don't worry, we thought about this. We go out on the roof outside, we climb out the window, and then we just have we made it very convenient for ourselves because we said we'll just have a snowplow come through and fling a pizza up to us.
Right.
He would have a pizza flinger and just a snowplow on the front of his truck. We were just somehow hoping for the fact that
like Pizza Hut doesn't close.
Right.
For the zombie apocalypse.
Pizza Hut doesn't close and we can just order and they'll just deliver it to us with a snowplow and then fling it up onto the roof. And that's how we get our food.
Right. We'd just be living off pizza.
Pretty foolproof plan if you ask me.
Right.
I mean, I don't see any flaws with it.
No, it's solid.
Oh, yeah. And then we said we would just sit up on the roof with snipers and just snipe zombies.
Like if the Walking Dead cast just somehow came across us, they'd be like, how the fuck are these guys still alive? Living off pizza and
we're
sniping.
Like Pizza Hut, baby.
Pizza Hut, baby. You don't have one in your town?
Pizza Hut and sniping zombies from the roof of my parents' house. Which hopefully all of our families are with us.
I hope.
Yeah. In our fantasy, it was like just us two.
Yeah,
for
like
whatever
everyone
reason.
else is dead, except for the pizza guy. And this was also before we had girlfriends, so obviously they weren't included in our.
Obviously, these were the kind of thoughts and conversations we were having when our brains weren't preoccupied by women. That's all I'll say about that. God, what else did I want to talk about? Oh, yeah. So we just got back from Vegas, which was pretty sweet. Pretty fun. I'm not talking about that yet because I haven't told Cam, and I want to save that to tell Cam on the pod where he can hear it for the first time and get his initial reaction. But you know what? I'm going to give you guys a little spoiler because I know Cam's not going to listen to this episode. So I'm going to give you guys something to look forward to listening to. And what I'll say is that we went to a weed dispensary. That's all I'm going to say. You can, it may or may not have something to do with the story I told about Blue's Clues.
Yeah.
So, you can have that to look forward to. Those of you that are listening, that will be recorded next week, where I'll be telling the story to Cam and getting his raw reaction. He has no idea.
You haven't told him anything about
Vegas?
Vegas?
Just said, I have a crazy story to tell you about Vegas, and that's it.
That's all you've mentioned about Vegas? That's all.
Oh, okay. Yeah, to him.
To him, right.
But we can talk about everything else.
Well, right.
Do you want to say some stuff? I feel like I've been talking a lot.
Oh, let's see here.
Oh, you came prepared.
I actually wrote some stuff down.
All right. It's like I have to fight tooth and nail to get Cam to write anything down. He doesn't write anything down. I'm like...
You're like, how do you
He'll
know?
sometimes have some stuff he wants to talk about, but usually he's just goes by the seat of his pants. So
All
what
right.
do you got there?
I've got a few things. So let's just start with, what was your favorite thing about Vegas?
Okay, my favorite thing about Vegas.
We did a lot.
We did do a lot. Honestly, dude, that Bellagio fountain was fucking sick.
That was pretty cool. Unfortunately, we saw it during the day.
So it was still sweet.
It was still really cool.
It was still really cool. And being that I'm a grass daddy and a golf course guy and a grass guy, I have a fixation for shooting water.
Do you guys have a fountain?
Well, no, I just mean like sprinklers.
Oh, yeah.
Any form of jet streamed water, it's just, I'm in.
And it was massive.
It
was massive.
It was hard to conceal my boner.
Just splooging water.
I mean, I'm such a nerd that whenever we went back to the hotel, I looked up Bellagio fountain.
Right.
Because I wanted to see if there's videos about, like, talking about the logistics behind it.
Uh-huh.
And I did find one video where the guy was talking about, like, the main water shooters. And they shoot, like, 200 feet.
Yeah. I mean, shit.
Straight up in the air.
Right. It was crazy.
And, like, they were blasting air out, too. So it was like it sounded like a cannon.
And it was
like
93 degrees out, so that mist felt pretty fucking good.
I swear to you, with the amount of water that was shooting in the air, absorbing the heat in the air, it like dropped the temperature around us by like 20 degrees.
Right.
It felt
good.
It felt so good. And yeah, it was like synced up to music.
Mm-hmm.
What about you? What was your favorite part?
Top Golf. And
that was really fun.
I know that's something you can do here in Nebraska, but nothing will beat the view that we had of like the Vegas Strip around us. We could see the top of the Sphere.
We could see like at least half of the Sphere. Like we could see a large part of it.
Yeah. That shit was dope. And we did get a $50 gift card to Top Golf as one of our gifts for the registry. So we're gonna have to go do that soon. Here in Omaha. Yeah.
Definitely have to do that. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was kind of a bougie setup. There was like pools.
There was a pool. Yeah, 2 pools. I think there was a pool up above us too. I think
there was like a pool on our level, which we were like on
the
like
third level.
Third level.
Yeah.
And then there was another pool above us with like cabanas that you could rent. I was like, God damn,
that shit was bougie.
That shit was sick. Oh, the other video I saw when I was looking up the Bellagio fountain was there was like a YouTube short, and it was talking about like the best place you can stay in Vegas, and it was a room in the Cosmopolitan, which is where we were standing. The Cosmopolitan was to the left.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it was like a room way up.
Okay.
So it looks down on the fountain. Ooh. So at night when it's going off.
That would be pretty cool.
Because it has so what's so cool about that hotel room, or like all the hotel rooms, was when they built it, they originally planned for it to be like apartments.
Oh.
But then it didn't end up working, so the hotel room is like an open style concept.
Oh, okay.
And it has a balcony.
That's pretty clutch.
And like no other hotels in Vegas have like balconies because they were intending for it to be an apartment.
Yeah.
And they ended up making it hotel rooms. Mm-hmm. So you can go out and sit on the balcony, your own personal balcony, and watch the fountain go off at night.
Okay, that would be pretty dope.
I told Lena, I was like, we need to go there someday.
Yeah, I think it would be fun to do like a couples retreat.
Right, but it was like $400 a night. So,
yeah. I mean, Alyssa and I looked at, because we were just curious, because we watched an episode of Modern Family where have you seen Modern Family?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm aware of it. I don't really watch it, but I'm aware of it.
Okay. Well, the character Jay, the father of So he's staying at, I want to say it was either the Bellagio or one of those more fancier hotels. And they were talking about packages. And so like we probably just got standard rooms, whereas like there's packages and some of them were like luxurious hotel rooms for like a couple grand a night.
A couple grand?
Couple grand.
But so they're talking about it in the show, but like how realistic is this to real life though?
We looked it up.
Oh,
because we were like curious. We were just like, oh, so what other kind of packages could we have gotten? And there's like suites, like actual suites you could get, and they're all like closer to the top of the hotel rooms. Mm. So even Excalibur had like a deluxe package where you have separate bedrooms, you have a big living room. Each room had its own TV in it, and you had a TV in the living room. And like, I don't know what your TV was when you stayed in your room, but ours was just like the generic.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't even a smart TV.
Yeah, no, it was like probably just like a 32-inch, just like semi-flat screen.
Mm-hmm. And then some of these rooms actually had their own little pool that you could just go out on the balcony and just go in the pool.
What?
On your floor, yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
But they were like a couple grand a night.
So are they just like high roller?
Yeah, I'm guessing high roller like business packages? Trips. Yeah.
People who are... The thing about Vegas is there's...
so much to do.
There's so much to do. There's so many shops, stores you can go into, places to eat at, fun things to do. It's impossible to do it all. And it's like, when you're there and you're seeing all these different things, we stayed busy pretty much the whole trip.
Yeah. There was only like maybe an hour or two here and there where we had time to gamble.
Right. And we spent it gambling.
And we did.
Like, the only times I was in my room was to sleep.
To sleep, yeah. Or change clothes. Like, I went up to change clothes.
There was no downtime. And it still felt like we were missing out on a whole bunch of things.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not really our fault.
No.
There's just so much to do.
Mm-hmm. And Alyssa had a really good itinerary planned out. So
she did.
It did keep us on schedule.
She did. And it was actually kind of nice because it helped us stay busy without, and it had ideas for us to do. Like it wasn't like a strict, we have to be here at this time.
Right. Because neither of us had been to Vegas. So like we had no clue what to do other than gamble.
And I didn't really know where anything was.
Exactly. Yeah.
So the other thing too is it's so expensive.
Oh my God. So expensive.
Like, I think the absolute cheapest meal I had was like chicken tenders.
Oh, I was thinking maybe Johnny Rocket when we had those burgers.
Well,
but even true. That was like $20 for just a burger.
I was going to say the cheapest meal I had was like $20.
Yeah.
And that was for like a chicken tender and fries.
Yeah. And that was a damn good burger though at Johnny Rocket.
It was.
It was damn good.
Where we had those two workers hitting on us.
Oh my God.
I don't know if they were fighting for tips or what they were doing, but they were definitely trying to rizz us up, and we were just like, I will never see you again.
Right.
Not that was what was stopping us. I mean, we're both in very committed relationships.
Right.
I'm not trying to look at the logistics of the situation going, well, this is why it wouldn't work.
And they weren't my type. So.
They weren't my type. What else you got on there? Top golf.
Oh, okay.
Gambling.
Oh, favorite Vegas stranger. I think we both have the same one.
My favorite Vegas stranger, probably an Uber. Probably one of the Ubers.
Okay.
Oh, what were you? Okay, you tell me yours.
I was thinking of that worker that we were like walking by, that space cow.
Oh my God!
Machine, and
yes,
we saw some dude win like $600.
Tell them about that.
We're watching this dude, and in Vegas, when you win money off a slot, like especially in a large amount, it just keeps going on the screen. It's not just immediate, like, oh, yep, you won $600. Here you go. You're watching it go up, and so me and Jake are just like behind this dude, just watching him win $600. And some lady comes up behind us, and she goes, "This is my favorite machine." And Jake goes, "Is it really?" And she goes, "Yes, it is."
No, like, I go, so which, I was like, she was telling us about it, and I go, so which, I said, which machine is your favorite? And she goes, that one.
That one right there. Yep. Southern accent and everything.
She was African-American.
She was, which made it better.
Yeah, I mean, she was real funny, and
she was very funny.
Basically, so she was a worker at the hotel, and basically what she would do is, like, as people would walk by, she would be like, "Oh, do you want, like, are you guys going to see this show tonight? Like, do you want a coupon or whatever?" And basically she's just kind of like a concierge, but not really. She was kind of just like a
helper, just like,
I guess. I wouldn't even say a doorman or whatever. No. Just kind of hanging out, I guess, trying to get people to go to shows and stuff and spend money, I guess.
And stuff, yeah.
But so what she said was she'll camp out by that machine, which it's one like giant slot machine with like a huge screen above it. Mm-hmm. But there's like four different slots.
Well, they're the same brand, but
yeah, but like four different spots you can play.
Machines, yeah,
4 seats.
Yep.
And she said like she'll sit there. She can't gamble while she's like working. Mm-hmm. But she said she'll like see which machine's hitting that day. Mm-hmm. And depending on how long she's there. So the way like those machines typically work is they have like a minimum payout.
Right.
So like they have a minimum amount of time before they have to pay.
Yeah.
For how much money is being gambled. So she can probably get some of the timing down too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So she probably knows that one hits like every hour or 2 hours. And she said she goes after work and like plays whatever machine's hitting. And she's like, "I've won $3,000 on this machine." I'm just like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm. She was awesome.
She was real funny. She was cool. And then later,
we did go back.
We went back, and I won like $40. It might have been like 40
or 50. Yeah.
But while my money was going up, she was kind of walking by, and I was just like, "This is my favorite machine now too." And she's like, and she was so happy for me.
Us up, yeah.
She was so excited and so happy for me. It was awesome. But if she wasn't my favorite, she ranks right up there. We had some funny Uber drivers,
Lyft drivers,
or Lyft drivers, whatever the fuck. There was, let's see, the very first guy. We got an Uber XL at the airport when we got there. And we all walked up with our bags, and he basically just said, "Yeah, I can't take you guys," and just hopped in his car and dipped. And we're just like, huh?
It was like a regular SUV. Like, I do not know how this was marked as XL. Seated 5 people.
And he basically was just like, "Yeah, I can't take you guys." And just dipped, and left us stranded in the middle of the parking garage. So we had to like go back to the waiting area and order another one.
Yep.
And then a different one came that was literally smaller.
Yeah, it was.
And at this point, I was just like, all of Alyssa's cousins were just like, "Well, this isn't going to work." And I'm just like, I was a little impatient. And I was like, "It's going to work."
Oh, yeah.
Trace and I will sit in the back. We'll put our bags in our laps. Mm-hmm. We'll be good. And the guy was willing to take us.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's take advantage of this, and we'll just cram in. I mean, it's 5 minutes to the hotel.
And I don't know what he had in that back seat that I was supposed to be like resting my head on, but it was just digging into the back of my neck. Like, I don't know if he saw me like it readjust multiple times, but
I was not comfy.
I was not comfy.
We basically looked like a human pretzel back there. I mean, we were like spooning in the back seat damn near, and that guy was like, his head was touching the ceiling. Like, we were like literally inside a clown car.
It looked like that. I'm sure the valets thought this is a clown car.
There was another lady that had such a gravelly voice. It sounded like she literally ate cigarettes. Didn't smoke cigarettes. Ate them. Because
I put her down as my least favorite.
Wait,
Vegas stranger.
So you had a favorite and a least
favorite so that we could talk about that girl too. Just to find a way to talk about her.
Yeah.
And Jake's just like...
What's your favorite and what's your least favorite?
Yeah. Like, she was terrible. I would never get in a car with her again.
Why did you not like her?
She just, oh my gosh, she just reminded me of like some chain smoker who just can't stop smoking cigarettes. She's like, I always have to have a cigarette in my mouth.
That's so funny. And she was vaping too.
She was vaping, yeah. And I was like, how are you vaping when it smelled like cigarettes?
She's trying to wean herself on.
Yeah. She's like, I think I'll stop smoking cigarettes.
Said, I want to start smoking cigarettes again, and I need to work my way back on. So she started low on the vape and is working her way back so she can smoke some more cigarettes.
Imagine, bro, just cutting yourself off so you can be like, I'm going to start back up.
Like, she spikes her coffee with vape juice, probably. Yeah. Like her throat.
Yeah. Tobacco. Her coffee grounds are just tobacco. That's what her coffee's made out of.
She doesn't use coffee grounds. She just like takes tobacco leaves and just like steeps it like in a tea bag.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like. She was terrible.
She wasn't that bad. I mean,
she wasn't that bad, but I hated her.
She wasn't that bad of a person, but she can get fucked. Our one, we had an Asian guy that like didn't speak the entire time. We had
that guy that you were like, so what's the furthest you've ever driven? And he was like, 15 minutes.
Oh yeah, that guy. We probably had like 6 or 7 different Ubers that entire trip.
Oh yeah.
The one lady at the very end, our last Uber where we were driving.
Oh yeah.
We were driving from our hotel back to the airport to fly home, and she was turning left, and someone like almost damn near cut her off, and she honked at them and kept driving. And I was like, "Do you want me to flip them off for you?" Yeah. And she was like, "No." She was Hispanic, and I'm just like, "'Cause I will with both hands."
She thought that was so funny.
She was like, "No, that's okay."
You were like,
I was like, "I'll put my coffee down and flip them off."
Right. You were like, "I'd be goddamn if someone disrespects my Lyft driver."
Or yeah, I was like, "No one talks to my Lyft driver like that." And then we were talking about, she was talking about how the Hard Rock, they're going to make the hotel into the shape of a guitar.
That's pretty cool.
Which, first of all, fuck yeah, that's going to be sick. Second of all, she was talking about how, like Vegas is implementing all these new and crazy things to like attract people or whatever. And you or Alyssa was like the Vegas Sphere, and she's like, yeah. And I was just like, that's a good point. Like, I figured out a way to work the good point into the conversation,
right?
Just to try to make you laugh. That was kind of what I was doing half the time. Whenever I was in the front seat, I would just try to say something to make you laugh behind me,
right?
Because I'm like, I wasn't like mean to the Ubers ever, but I was like, I would say something because I'm like, I'm never gonna see them again. I could say something a little weird because they might think like, who is this guy, and it's not gonna mean anything
because they probably take hundreds of people in a day.
Right.
Maybe that's the business that you should get into if you go work in Vegas. Is just be a Lyft driver.
I don't know.
Hundreds of people need to be picked up.
Right. Yeah, it was kind of weird how like every hotel had like a dedicated
area
ride sharing. Like there was literally signs that said like Uber with an arrow.
Yep.
Like Uber/Lyft or ride sharing or whatever. And there was like dedicated areas
just for us to be picked up
that you would wait at. It was actually kind of nice. It made it easy because you would order the Uber and you would go and sit there and then they would all pull up in the same spot.
And to me, it felt like they had to have been just like camped out somewhere nearby because every time we